Now Korah, the son of Ishhar, the son of Kohath, the son of Levi and Dathan, and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, and On, the son of Pelet, sons of Reuben, took men, and they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princes of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown.
And these was famous men. These wasn't just ordinary people. They were famous men. And what did they do? They rose up against Moses. Not only against Moses, they also rose up against Aaron. And when you see the 250 princes of the assembly, they was with them too. And as you begin to see all this uprising, they're going after two people, Moses and Aaron. Go ahead, Pastor.
And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord?
They said, listen, Moses and Aaron, we're holy people. And you want to think that you're greater than us? You're going to lift yourself above us? No, you're not. Go ahead, Pastor.
And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Lord will show who are his.
That's one thing about God. God will show you who belongs to him. Even though they said we're a holy congregation, we're men of renown, we're this, we're that. Moses said, I'm going to show you who's holy. Right? Go on, Pastor.
And who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he hath chosen will he cause to come near unto him.
Now we're talking about the Lord. The Lord, this is what Moses is saying. He said, I'm going to show you who God's favors. Who is the one that is represented by God? Who's the one that God has anointed to be the leader? We have to be so careful. When we're dealing with leadership that God has put in place, we have to be so careful, because sometimes we can retaliate, and we think we're retaliating against a pastor or against whoever, but you're really retaliating against God, because God put people in places. He put the teachers in places. I mean, I remember our deacon, and I remember, I asked if he can remember when I said that, could you come? He had already been teaching, but the only one was doing it was our deacon. And I remember asking him if he could remember, would you teach again? And he said yes. And he's been doing a fantastic job. So God put people in places. And sometimes people can get so envious of the place that God has put you in that they begin to retaliate against you. But if God put you there, don't you know nobody can move you? No matter what you do or what you say or how anybody come against that person, they can't take that person down because God has placed them there. Go ahead, Pastor.
This do. Take you censers, Korah, and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Lord tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Lord doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi.
He said, you take too much upon you. Well, first they said, Moses and Aaron, you take too much upon you. So here go Moses. No, you take too much upon you. So go ahead.
And Moses said unto Korah, Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi. Seemeth it but a small thing unto you that the God of Israel hath separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Lord, and to stand before the congregation to minister unto them?
Now God had already given them great titles. He had turned around and he said, here, God has turned around and put you near to him to do the service of the tabernacle, which the pastor had explained earlier. And to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. God done all these things for you, but you're not satisfied. Go ahead.
And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. And seek ye the priesthood also?
So he wanted Korah. He wanted the priesthood. He wanted what Aaron had, right? So he was mad and he was angry and he took 250 men. That's a shame. Because he wasn't satisfied. You know, you have to be satisfied the place and the position that God has put you in. You can't sit back and say, I want more. If God don't give you more, you can't do more. You'll make a mess of it. So here, he just wasn't satisfied. He wanted the priesthood too. Go ahead.
For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Lord. And what is
Wait a
it?
minute. They gathered against Moses. No. They gathered against Aaron. No. They gathered against the Lord. That's who they were fighting. They wasn't fighting Aaron, so they thought. They wasn't fighting Moses, so they thought. They was fighting the Lord. Go ahead.
And what is Aaron that ye murmur against him? And Moses sent to call Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab, which said, We will not come up.
They said they're not coming up. Moses called them. They said, we ain't coming up. We're with Korah. So here's a multitude of people that decided that we're going to fight these two men. But strength is never in numbers. It's not in numbers. Because you can see here as we go on with this, that the two men that they think they're fighting against God. Go ahead.
Is it a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of a land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness, except thou make thyself together a prince over us? Moreover, thou hast not brought us into a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up.
So they got all excuses why they're not coming up when Moses told them to come. And that's what people have, a lot of excuses for what they don't want to do. But you're still fighting against a holy God. Go ahead.
And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Lord, Respect not thou their offering.
Don't even deal with their offerings. Go ahead, God.
I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, Be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow, and take every man his censer, and put incense in them, and bring ye before the Lord every man his censer, 250 censers. Thou also and Aaron, each of you his censer. And they took every man his censer, and put fire in them, and laid incense thereon, and stood at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation with Moses and Aaron. And Korah gathered all the congregation against them unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, Separate yourselves from among this congregation.
Wait a minute. He told the people, get away from the people. Get away from Korah. Get away from David. Get away from the other one. Get away from them. Anybody that's giving you some bad advice to fight against leadership, get away from them. Because I'm ready to spare your life. Go ahead.
That I may consume them in a moment. And they fell upon their faces and said, O God, the God of...
This is God.
The God of the spirits of all flesh.
This is God. Hold on. God is saying here, move out the way, Moses. I'm getting ready to take every last one of them out. Something is going to happen. They're going to die. But Moses, he was a type of Christ. He intervened in there. He didn't want the whole congregation to die because of one person that was feeding them negativity against Aaron and against himself. But God was going to take them all out. Go ahead.
And wilt thou be wroth with all the congregation? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the congregation, saying, Get you up from about the tabernacle of Korah,
Get away from them. Go ahead.
Dathan, and Abiram.
Get away from them. That's what God is saying. Get away from them. Because I'm getting ready to do something here. Go ahead.
And Moses rose up and went unto Dathan and Abiram, and the elders of Israel followed him. And he spake unto the congregation, saying, Depart, I pray you, from the tents of these wicked men.
Now hold on. He called them wicked men. But here they served the tabernacle. Here they did services unto the Lord. But when they began to rise up against Moses and against Aaron, thinking that they were fighting them, but they were fighting God, they became wicked men. Wickedness because they were doing something against a holy God. Go ahead.
And touch nothing of theirs.
Don't even touch any of the things that's around their tents. Don't touch none of their stuff. As if you want to be saved and delivered. Go ahead.
Lest ye be consumed in all their sins.
And all of their sins. So they were sinning. Go ahead.
So they got up from the tabernacle of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram, on every
They
side.
got away. Go ahead.
And Dathan and Abiram went out and stood at the door of their tents, and their wives, and their sons, and their little children.
Little children. One thing about God, when he goes touching something, when God decides he's going to destroy something, he destroys. They say, well, that's the Old Testament. That's not the New. Really? You can see God's wrath all through this world. As you begin to look at other countries where there's so much devastation, so much hunger, so much... When God decides to touch, he touch. Nothing happens without the hand of God. It just don't. Go ahead.
And Moses said, Hereby ye shall know that the Lord hath sent me to do all these works.
God had sent Moses. God had sent that leader. to do the work. That's why I said we have to be careful. We're not talking about a hypocrite pastor. We're not talking about a lying, thieving pastor and say, obey those that have rule over you. That's true. But we're not talking about that when we're talking about a leader that is sent by God. When a leader is sent by God, you're not just touching that leader. You think you are. You're touching God. When you don't do what's right in this church, you're not touching the leader. You're messing with God's house. This is his house. This house don't belong to none of us. We might have had people that might have been reared up in this church, but it's still the house of God. And by it being the house of God, we ought to do right in the house of God. We're supposed to do things in the house of God that is godly, not fighting what God wants us to do. I'll get to that later. Go ahead, Pastor.
For I have not done them of mine own mind. If these men die the common death of all men, or if they be visited upon the visitation of all men, then the Lord hath not sent me. But if the Lord make a new thing, and the earth open her mouth, and swallow them up, with all that appertain unto them, and they go down quick into the pit, then ye shall understand that these men have provoked the Lord.
They provoked the Lord. They have provoked the Lord. Not Aaron, not Moses, but the Lord. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as he had made an end of speaking all these words, that the ground clave asunder that was under them, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed them up, and their houses, and all the men that appertain unto Korah, and all their goods. They and all that appertained to them went down alive into the pit, and the earth closed upon them, and they perished from among the congregation. And all Israel that were round about them fled at the cry of them, for they said, lest the earth swallow us up also.
The earth swallowed them up. But guess what? The people still wasn't finished. They watched the earth open up itself and swallowed up them sinners, but they still wasn't satisfied. Go ahead, Pastor.
And there came out a fire from the Lord and consumed the 250 men that offered incense.
The 250 men that he brought with him. He brought himself some reserves to fight Moses and Aaron. God destroyed them too. Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Eleazar the son of Aaron the priest, that he take up the censers out of the burning, and scatter thou the fire yonder, for they are hallowed. The censers of these sinners against their own souls, let them make them broad plates for a covering of the altar, for they offered them before the Lord. Therefore they are hallowed, and they shall be a sign unto the children of Israel. And Eleazar the priest took the brazen censers, wherewith they that were burnt had offered, and they were made broad plates for a covering of the altar, to be a memorial unto the children of Israel, that no stranger which is not of the seed of Aaron come near to offer incense before the Lord, that he be not as Korah and as his company, as the Lord said to him by the hand of Moses. But on the morrow, all the congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses.
Now here go the congregation. We had Korah, him and his two friends, they died. Then we had the 250. They died. Now here come the congregation. Go ahead, Pastor.
And against Aaron, saying, Ye have killed the people of the Lord.
Now were they really the people of the Lord? They were not the people of the Lord. Anytime you fight against leaders, God leaders, you are not the children of the Lord. You are not. So here come the congregation saying, you done killed holy men. Go ahead, Pastor.
And it came to pass, when the congregation was gathered against Moses and against Aaron, that they looked toward the tabernacle of the congregation, and behold, the cloud covered it.
God. Go ahead.
And the glory of the Lord appeared. And Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Get you up from among this congregation, that I may consume them as in a
God
moment.
said, I will destroy them too. Because they're his people. God fights for his people. Go ahead.
And they fell upon their faces. And Moses said unto Aaron, Take a censer and put fire therein.
Here go Moses again, interceding for the people. Go ahead.
From off the altar, and put on incense, and go quickly into the congregation, and make an atonement for them. For there is wrath going out from the Lord.
From who? From the Lord. Go ahead.
The plague is begun.
Plague.
And Aaron took as Moses commanded, and ran into the midst of the congregation, and behold, the plague was begun among the people. And he put on incense, and made an atonement for the people. And he stood between the dead and the living, and the plague was stayed. Now they that died in the plague were 14,700, beside them that died about the matter of Korah. And Aaron returned unto Moses unto the door of the tabernacle.
All of these people died because somebody decided they wanted to be priests. And they wanted to fight against leaders. My title of what God had given me was God stands with his leaders. We have to be careful what we do